Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the GSL platform. In today's show, we have the guest Dr. Dinkar Pai. So, my first question to you is that the medical simulation has immense potential. So, what is the most underutilized medical simulation technology that we can use and we can leverage to improve our medical education?
First of all, I would like to say that simulation is not really all about technology. So, simulation is more about education, and we can do a lot of simulation with low technology. So, if you ask for what would be the most meaningful area of simulation, I would say I think the non-technical skills, gaining of non-technical skills is increasingly becoming important. That is one area, and the second area is process testing within hospitals to make sure, or healthcare facilities to make sure that they will work the way they are designed. Ultimately, if you look at the bottom line, everything is geared towards patient safety.
So, you had a privilege of working in Singapore and India. So, what are the key differences that you have noticed between the East and the West? And how can we bring these differences to improve the global standards of the medical education in India?
If you ask me what are the major differences, I think we are all aware of the cultural differences between the global south and the global north, and specifically the east and the west. And these cultural differences also percolate into medical education and specifically into simulation. And so it is important for us to understand and recognize these cultural differences and know that we cannot blindly import technology or techniques from the West into our country or countries similar to ours because they may not work. So we have to develop our own ways of doing things. The other difference that I find is that it's a much more systematic approach to medical education and specifically simulation in the Western countries, whereas in our country we are still finding our feet. So the approach is a little haphazard, and that systematic curricular integration and has to come in for simulation to become more effective in our country. Thank you.
So, like any technology, medical simulation is also constantly evolving. So, what future trends do you observe for the next decade? And how can we harness the artificial intelligence and virtual reality into the medical education?
Technology is improving in leaps and bounds, and I think as healthcare educators, it is incumbent upon us to make sure that we are also keeping up to date with this technology. This is nowhere more true than in the field of healthcare simulation, because there is already a lot of technology in simulation, and the emerging technologies, we can leverage it to improve healthcare simulation delivery so that it makes for better learner outcomes and in turn improve again patient safety. So with the advent of virtual reality, augmented reality, already there are many simulation platforms which are using these for patient interactions, for task training. And I'm happy to say that in India, many companies are at the forefront of this revolution, and they are coming out with simulation solutions, and in many ways they are showing the way to the rest of the world in these technologies. In terms of artificial intelligence, I think we are still finding our feet, and now in fact I'm working on a project to see how artificial intelligence can be used to pick up issues with non-technical skills during team training. So, just like in other fields, artificial intelligence can help us in cognition, but also can help us in designing simulations and in delivering simulations in a way that probably reduces the role of faculty and therefore makes better use of faculty time and helps the learner to learn in a better way.
So, with over 50 publications and numerous book chapters in medical simulation, your work is truly substantial. So, what's the one piece of work that you're most proud of and its impact on the field?
I don't personally believe that it's all the publications, etc., that I would consider as the most important. I would say the most important contribution that I have personally made would be to take simulation to the grassroots across this country and help in developing low cost solutions for simulation, so that even in less resource available healthcare facilities, simulation can still be used in order to benefit the patient.
So, with your extensive experience, what advice would you give to a 21-year-old medical student who wants to start a simulation center or start his or her career in a simulation technology? What advice would you give to them, sir?
First of all, I would be very happy that such a young person is looking forward for a career in simulation. A few years ago, nobody was even looking to simulation as a career, and your question underlines the fact that people are now aware that simulation can be a career in itself. Unfortunately, there are no clear-cut paths for a simulation career as of now in India, but I'm happy to say that there are a lot of such avenues available if you look at it internationally, and there are many online programs, including master's programs, where you can enhance your knowledge of simulation. You can then subsequently do a PhD. So my advice would be, firstly, get academic legitimacy by getting experience or getting training in simulation in a master's program or in a and then doing a doctorate, and then you use that to go further to use simulation in your day-to-day teaching activities as part of a medical education unit or as part of a simulation center. Now we know that most medical colleges are required by an NMC to have a simulation center. So you have no dearth of simulation centers, and there is no lack of employment opportunities for somebody who's qualified as a simulation educator. The other avenues available are, there are many online examinations, like for example, the Society for Simulation in Healthcare in the US runs a certified healthcare simulation educator examination, which gives you an international legitimacy as a simulation educator. And they also have more advanced certifications like the CHSE-A. I won't go into the details of those, but now all these avenues are available. And in the near future, there are some Indian universities which are also going to start fellowships in simulation. So that could be another avenue that could be explored.
Thank you, sir, for coming to the platform and sharing your extensive knowledge and experiences.
Thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure to have talked to you, and all the best.
Thank you, sir.